samsara, nirvana. Samsara is a Sanskrit word. Nirvana is Sanskrit word.
Yes.
You know that, So the samsara is, samsara is called the cyclic existence. And nirvana is the peace, total peace beyond the samsara. So those two, So in the samsara, in this cyclic existence, in this cyclic existence, which is everyday cycle, one day from morning we start in the evening, and then next again is a cycle. 1 hour, 60 minutes, and second hour, another 60 minutes, 60 minutes, it's a cycle. A week, Sunday through Monday, and then it's a cycle. Month or year, a month, yes, 30 or 31st day, and I can cycle. Year, 12 months, a cycle. So it's all just cycle. We are born, go around, we age, get old, and then I can start new. It's a cycle. So this samsara is called a vicious cycle. We work hard to live our life, to survive, or to want to be happy. We don't want suffering. So to be happy, to achieve happiness, we have to think a lot and make effort. How to be happy, and how to free from this, our struggle, our suffering. We go around this, So this is not something a Buddhist. This is some universal. We should understand that, Universal, every country you go. Doesn't matter what kind of culture they have, or religion they have, or they believe. What kind of language they have, rich or poor, educated or uneducated, we're in that cycle, you see. So that helps us to open our heart. So, yes, that makes sense. So, there are different types of where take refuge. We take refuge when you are the day you are born. We take refuge in our mother, father, because without the mother or father, we cannot survive. So our life depends their kindness. So we take refuge in them. Then when you go to school, we take refuge to the teacher. You see. So like this, when you face some difficulties, we take refuge somebody. When there's a cold, we take refuge in the heater. When there's a hot, we take refuge in the cold, air conditioning, So like these things, that's the idea of this called taking refuge. Then emotionally, no, sometimes strong attachment comes, desire comes, and then they tell you what to do to fulfill the desire, and we follow. When sometimes there comes aversion, anger, due to certain conditions, and then the anger, the aversion will tell you what to do, what not to do, and then we follow after them. So something like we're taking refuge in them to fulfill our, what we wish for. Makes sense? Just everybody. Those who are practicing Dharma or not, those are believer or non-believer. See. So here, say taking refuge is we take refuge. So when this called enlightenment and unenlightened one. So this, what we're taking refuge in, is unenlightened. Because of unenlightened, we cannot rely on them all the time, only temporarily. And sometimes good, but sometimes we make mistake. Or I made a big mess by taking refuge in them, like these things. So here is this called taking refuge in the enlightenment, means free from all the delusions. Free from all those misconceptions. So that we say Buddha, it's called enlightened being. Buddha is not a statue. You find this is the Buddha paintings, this is the Buddha. No, this is just a statue. It's just a symbol, just to identify, say, Buddha. But Buddha is actually, Buddha is within us. Buddha is Sanskrit word, Sanskrit word. So means fully awakened from the delusion. So we have the nature, the seed of the enlightened within us. But we don't know that. Our enlightened nature is under the control of the delusion. That is what's called adventitious defilement. That's where we go to school. First you go to school, college, university, to know more, to understand more. So these teachings are like a college or school, a university, you study, And then what more importantly is not just to study, to understand, but apply, put into practice. When you put into practice, then there is a way to dispel our confusion. And then you see the direction, what it is about. So step by step. So all about this, all is the mind. Every individual, we have a mind because we think, I like this, I don't like this I want to do, all this, And then you see, then you understand what I made mistake, Then you see, oh, I'm so happy I did well, you know. Oh, this is the mind. So the mind we all have. Mind, then you see, now what does you say? So mind is very complex. First, you have to understand that. No, like my mind is very complex. I think a lot, you know. I'm sure you all do. You think a lot. Sometimes overthinking. And then, you know, mostly suffering comes from the overthinking, you know. You see. So mine is very simple in one way, very simple, you know. It's just like a cloud, like a mirage, very simple. And another way is very complex, confusing. You know ourselves, you know, our mind. Our mind contradicts by ourselves. You know? Then you struggle what to make the decision, you know. Should I do this or should I not do this? Or this looks good. Now what should I do? Which one, you know? So the mind is very complex. See. So this is very important. It's not a Buddhist belief. We should understand that. No. It's the reality of the individuals and every sentient being, especially human beings. So you see, to handle that is not so easy. Sometimes today you like it, so, oh, that's wonderful, I like it, I want to do this, I want to follow, you know. And next days, you give up. It's the mind. It's called the play of the mind. So it's very important to study. There's three things, you know. Hearing, study, just to get to know, like going to school. Then next, contemplation. Investigate what you have studied, right or not. Get the conviction. No. Yes, it makes sense. Yes, that's now. That doesn't mean you solve the problem. Now, third is the practice, called meditation practice. So these three things, if we follow, then we get the benefit. Sometimes, you know, we get a good conviction. Oh, it makes sense. Really, that's really like it's very scientific, you know. But if you don't put into practice, it doesn't help. You have all the information. You can explain, like me, I can explain. But if I don't practice enough, I don't get the benefit. See, so to get the benefit, it's like the practice, you know, like the food, or like a, you know, a delicious breakfast. First, you get all the information, how to prepare the breakfast, and then you understood how to do that. You're all prepared. Display on the table, dining table. Oh, beautiful, you know. But if you don't eat it, then what's the benefit, you know? You see, now if you eat it, you get all the benefit. See, so like this. So it's called study, you know, hearing all this information, and then just investigate if it makes sense or not, contemplation, and then put into practice Dharma. Makes sense that? Okay, so that's the first is very important. And important is measure the mind. This will come step by step more, you know. But just what we're here, come here today, you know, say, what all about this? It is just a Buddhist training, you know, a religious training. So no, we should say this is not just a religious training. This is something universal to relate to ourselves. At the end of the day, individual is now all that make the decision. Okay, so you feel comfortable yourself. You are not trapped, rather you feel I'm in the right place. So whole world, you see, is in that nature, but they're not taught so much. In the school, college, these days, you know, we go to college, university, you know, to get all this training, you know, scientific training, technologies, economy, you know, the law, the politics, or you learn all these things, but they will not teach you how your mind is important. This, I think, is big missing. We need to have that, because we are learning all this because the mind. Just say we say brain. Brain is just a piece of flesh. How much it can do. So mind is consciousness and the matter. This all what you see, what you hear, smell, taste, touch, all these phenomena, they are called matter. They have no consciousness, it's a matter. And then that all makes the decision by the mind, consciousness, good, not good, right, wrong, all this, you know, the mind make the decision. And there are many layers of the mind, confused mind, unconfused mind, mixed, confused and not confused mind, you know, the mixed informations, all this. So the mind, you see, is very important. Is all this modern technologies, science, what you call, they are created by the mind consciousness. But because of lack of good information about the mind, they try to make the mind outside. That's what, you know, robot. Am I saying right? Yeah. Robot, all those robots, now there are a lot of robots, you know. So they try to put mind in the robot. So, you know, try to make the mind, this is called artificial intelligence. It's created by the mind. But something like coming from outside. Then people are fear. You make, you feel fear about it. No? You cannot make the mind. The matter, what I'm saying is that the matter cannot make the consciousness, mind. Mind can make the matter. Like this building is created by the mind. The table you have is created by the mind. All the different shapes, colors, all this, you can make these things by the mind. But this table, these machines, they cannot make the mind. That's why you see this all manifest and then dissolve. You know? So mind is more powerful than anything else. At the end of the day, the mind can display all the great peace, happiness, nothing but peace. But the mind can also make us such a worse condition. When your mind is in the wrong place, then you suffer so much. People suicide. Even though outside maybe everything's good, you know, you have good place to live, good, you know, good life, good food, you know. But when the mind is in the wrong place, people suicide. Why? Because the mind is in the wrong place. There's some, life is very simple, nothing very elaborated. There's nothing elaboration, but can be very pleasant. Peace, happiness. Because how your mind is trained. Make sense? So this is a word now. This is what we're learning, okay? How to do these things. Not as mission, not as a religious training, okay? Not something Buddha created, but the Buddha came to know these things and explain to us. So that's what's here. What the main thing says. Just, I have to say some background, you know, so that you feel comfortable, you know. Otherwise, you chant this, I take refuge in the Buddha. What does it mean, you know? Maybe I'm in the wrong place, you know. So here, you know, it is said, in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. That you see. Until enlightenment means until everything's precise, clear. Okay, nothing is hidden. Right now, our mind is hidden, isn't it? You don't know your mind. I don't know my mind. You know, it's hidden somewhere. I don't know where. It's very mysterious. It's ambiguous, isn't it? It's very ambiguous. Your own mind, my own mind is so ambiguous. I want to be a good person. I want to do this right. I want to do this right. Then things goes wrong. What happened? So this is because, you see, it's so hidden subject. It's so ambiguous, very abstract subject, you know. So sometimes when you hear the Dharma more profound, Buddha has not seen the mind, the Buddhas of the past have not seen the mind. Buddha of the future will not see the mind. Buddha in the present has not seen the mind. They say, you know, sometimes you find that. Because there's nothing to see. Like this, I can say, I can see this table here, table is here. But you investigate step by step, you know, all the step by step, investigate. Where's the real table? Table is. Now I'm talking about the quantum physics theory. Through the quantum physics theory, you investigate what the table, where the table really is, and step by step, go through step by step, and you don't find something solid table. So I can say, I don't see the table. From that point of view, so that point of view is called ultimate. Ultimately, there's no table. Relatively, yes, this is the table. In a relative state, we communicate. This is the table. This is bell. This is so. This, that. So you see, relatively, yes, I think so much. I'm thinking, so much. Ultimately, where is my mind? Inside the body, outside the body, in between, where is mixed with my brain or flesh, or where? I don't see it. It's like the wind, So then, when you see that, realize that nature, then you have no fear. See, right now we have a lot of fear. If this happen, what should I do? If this happen, what should I do? That's why there's a lot of insurance. There's car insurance. What if my car got accident? So I need the insurance. There's a house insurance, car insurance, life insurance, health insurance, so many insurance. It's all built to protect the fear, but at the end cannot protect. See, but temporarily, we do these things. So when you're enlightened, you don't need insurance. Because you have no fear. When you don't have fear, why you need insurance? So there comes big things, retirement, a lot of things going on. When you're retired, you have to prepare. A lot of things may happen in your life, You are getting old, and then you say, I need a retirement. Where should I know? It's all built on the base of fear. So samsara is fear and hope. There's hope and fear. We're in between these two. That's what samsara. I'm not saying these are bad thing, no. These are just information where we are in, what we should prepare for. So here is the Buddha, who historically, we'll talk about this today, tomorrow, He was, as you see, historically who taught these Dharma teachings. He was a prince in the northern Himalaya. His father was very powerful, very successful. And he has only one son. His name, the Prince Siddhartha. So he got excellent opportunity to grow physically, mentally, education, all the studies that he need, religious study, everything, all the arts. He lived in the kingdom for 29 years. So he got excellent opportunity to go through all this study, practice. And as a prince, then if he enthroned as a king, then he has a responsibility to look after the people. So he also went to the village, the farming places. I'm sure people at that time, relatively poor, education is not so much, only highly kind of gifted people. So sometimes he go to the countryside, people that are working on the farm, and they're working so hard. Then he was thinking, I have to look after these people, how I can help. Sometimes he rests under the tree after seeing all these things, meditating. So there's a lot of people needs help. And sometimes we see very old people, the body is bent, cannot see clearly, cannot hear, just wobbling, they're walking. So then he said, right now I'm so young, capable of everything, but one day I will be like this. How I can help these people? Sometimes he encounters people who are sick, laying on the bed, full of pain, crying. I have this pain, that pain. And their relatives, family members, looking after them. So I was thinking how I can help those people. Then there's some that died, the body is carrying out for the cremation. Family members are crying. So this is how life is. It's not just poor people, rich, poor, educated, uneducated. Even like me, he's just thinking for himself. One day I'll be old like these people. One day I will get sick like these people. One day I will die. Now what should I do? How I can help? So he was very seriously investigating these things. So since he's lacking the ability to do this, to help people, so then when he was 29, he decided to go further training. So he left, His father arranged a beautiful wife, but he was not attached to help. I should not be so selfish for myself. I have to help all the people. So he left. For 6 years, he went further training, trained, meditated himself. And he achieved very advanced meditation. Still, he didn't get all the answers. So at the end, then he proceeded to Bodh Gaya. If those who went to India, under the Bodhi tree, then he meditated with the one concentration, called equipoise, one-pointed equipoise, without any distraction. Nobody could distract him. Because of that, this synchronizing the karma abiding in special insight, then he's totally uproot his leftover mental delusions. Says measure the mind, you know. All the mental obscurations totally uprooted. And then he got all the answers. He declares, now I am enlightened. So that time he was called Buddha. The Sanskrit word, Buddha, is fully awakened. So soon after that, he turned the first tenet of the Dharma. Everybody knows, I think, the Four Noble Truths. We, in the samsara, in this world, we don't know enough about the suffering, that what we don't want. Sometimes we just have misperception. Suffering is something like enjoyable. So that's why he taught, you should know the suffering. If you don't know the suffering, you don't know how to get out of this. You know? If you don't know the poison that you are taking is a poison, it will take your life. So he said, you should know the suffering. Then you see, he said, now the suffering doesn't come from without cause or from wrong cause, from incomplete cause. It's come from the right cause. Every individual, every different types of suffering has its cause. So you should know the cause and avoid the cause of suffering. From there, you should achieve the cessation of the suffering and the cause of suffering. No, cessation of the suffering. To achieve the cessation of suffering, you have to follow the path. So I know this now directly, precisely, and so this, I'm just telling you this. So it's not something Buddhism. A lot of people say, this is Buddhism. No, but this is what Buddhists believe. But if you really study enough, it's not a Buddhism. It's not something Buddha has created, but Buddha has discovered what suffering is about and what the cause of suffering is. So what we're studying, practicing is how to see the suffering, what I don't like the suffering, and what the cause of the suffering. So our working is not just say, can you say some prayers so that I don't go to so much suffering, you know? Instead, Buddha said, don't create the cause of suffering. Yes, we have 100% choice on the creation of the cause of suffering, whether you want to or not. No. Once we created the cause, we have to take the responsibility. We have not much choice, because we have created. So in the samsara, in the world, you see, we all in the samsara so deluded, we don't know what's the cause of suffering. And we keep creating the cause of suffering. Then we complain about it. You know? Like war, you see, the war, they created war, you know, Now, when you make the war, the other person will respond, and you complain about it now. These things. So that's why I say, that's what we need Buddha's teaching in this world so much. All this you see now, nowadays the news they're telling about how much now. See, disasters are coming, isn't it? The flood and the heat and all the environment, we created cause. There's no one to blame about us. We individually. So that's called individual cause and collective cause. The strong earthquakes and the floods and the storms, and what else? Tornadoes, all these are created by the cause. And we individually have every kind of responsibilities. But to take the responsibilities, we have to have this wisdom to understand what it makes sense. So this also means the mind is such a in the confused state of the mind has also so complicated, so much their information. And on the other side, on the enlightened state, also there's many layers of the enlightenment. It's not just one. There's so many layers of enlightenment. See, to achieve Buddhahood, there's so many steps you follow. So that shows, as I mentioned, the profundity of the mind. Our mind is unfathomable, so profound. So it's within us. That's why we go to school, college, university, you get a PhD degree. Now, when you get a PhD degree, have you completed your all understanding? Still not yet, isn't it? You can have a double PhD degree. You can have a triple PhD degree. You can have a 10th PhD degree, still not finished. It just shows how the mind is complex. That's within us. Make sense? So we should, that's why I say now here, I just, about the taking refuge, you see. So we're taking refuge to the enlightened mind. First, since we are not enlightened, or first when we are confused, so something like Buddha exists outside of us. This is what Buddha is about. This is what Buddha taught about it. This is what we should study, we understand, meditate. Then slowly, then your own mind becomes your own refuge. Okay, at the end. My wisdom that I studied, practiced, I understood well enough. See, that mind, when I have that, on the other side, there's weakness of my mind. To purify my weakness of the mind, I take refuge to the wisdom of my mind. This I should do. This I should follow. These are very important steps. So then you see, you feel so comfortable yourself. Because when you study, practice Dharma, you become Buddha. I cannot destroy you the enlightenment, So I can say, you know, yeah, you come here, I will give you enlightenment. We wish, you know. But we study, we follow the path, we practice, then step by step you see. That's what I try to do. So it's a very joyous path. We should understand that, no? It's such a joyous path because you are getting out of the delusion. You discard all the confusion and follow the wisdom. You are trying to achieve the freedom, no? So it's such a joyous path, way to follow. There's no pressure. But our habit is not so easy to handle. The habit of the samsara and the world, we are not so easy. It's not because the Dharma is difficult. It's difficult of our habit. You know the word inveterate propensity? Deeply rooted the negative habit. It's difficult to uproot. It's like a rubber band. You know, it's a sticky glue. It's like a sticky glue, you know. It's nothing, but it's so sticky, you know. So you see, the negative habits are like a sticky glue, difficult to give up. So that's what we need to first take refuge. Then he has said, the next I'll just read. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. Here means generosity, giving your skill, giving your wisdom to share, to help others. All those who are suffering, you know, you are keeping your moral conducts, practicing the patience, making all the perseverance, and sometimes you meditate, calming your mind, especially inside like this, or whatever good things you have done. It's not just keep yourself, but share to all others. That's why I say, no, for the sake of all sentient beings, I dedicate this practice based on love, practice of love, compassion, and enlightened attitude. Okay. Now we'll say this together. Okay, 3 times. Okay, to make sure you have got the message. You know, in the Buddha, Dharma, and the Sangha most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. Now next is page 6. The 4 immeasurable prayers. Immeasurable, unlimited, infinite. This is their 4: loving kindness, compassion, and your rejoicing, joy, and equanimity. See, now this, first it becomes a concept, but slowly you can achieve that within you. Just example, first in your life, What person is most close to you? Your mother, your father, your husband, your wife, your child, whoever who's most close to you. How much you wish to have happiness to that person. I wish her or him have all the happiness. Then you rejoice on their happiness. See, why you want to do this? Why you wish that the person who's most close to you, why you want to have, why you want to wish that person to have all the happiness? Because that person wish to have all the happiness. That person is working hard to achieve happiness. You see, your mother taking care of you so much, because when she sees her child, when the child is crying, just her heart is beating. When the child is happy, playing, she's so happy, joyful. So just like that, you see. So this is not just religious training. It is something universal, but expand our heart. See? Even the people who are bitter to you, who create the cause, it's miserable your life, but that person also desire for peace and happiness. You see. So because of that reason, you wish that person have all the peace and happiness. The bitterness of that person's mind is delusion. That person doesn't know how to handle things. So stupid. Well, desire for peace and happiness, creating all the cause of suffering. So if that is not stupid, then what? Make sense? So yes, that first you developed the person who is most close to you. Well, you are having that not just emotionally, but with reason. Because deep down, that person desire for peace and happiness, wish for peace and happiness. So from that point of view, from that point of reason, I developed this wishing, happiness. Everybody, you see. That's also who gets the benefit? The person who is practicing that get the benefit. Like say, if somebody is making my life bitter, terrible, and then see, I wish that person have all the bad luck. He deserves all the problems, And then if somebody asks me, you should wish that person to have peace and happiness. No. That person deserves all the suffering, problems, So the bitterness that I have makes my life miserable. I'm suffering because of the feeling of bitterness, aversion, anger, resentment, you see. That makes my life miserable. Instead, if I wish that person have all the peace and happiness, the heaviness of that feeling of bitter is disappear. And I feel so happier. See, so it's on my own benefit. See, But we need these all outer sentient beings. I cannot develop loving kindness to a piece of rock, to a piece of this table. I may say, I love this table, it's because I love this for me, but I don't love for the table, you know. You see, it makes sense? No. I love the table means I love the table because I like it, the table. Doesn't mean I want to have the table, all the peace and happiness, you know. You see. So sentient beings are conditioned to develop this love, loving kindness and compassion. See. So we should see that, whether that person like me or doesn't like me, but this is it makes me a condition to love, to practice love, loving kindness to all, everyone. So it is universal. It's not something Buddhist, but Buddha realized that and taught us this. So that shows our mind is unlimited. There are countless sentient beings in the world, even small insects, ants running here and there looking for some peace and happiness. So we develop that thought, kindness to all, just meditate there. So it heals your heart. It heals your muscle. You feel lighter. So meditate on this, So these are the first, very important. There we start with this important. Then this is go all the way to the enlightenment. So we say this prayer 3 times. Okay. May all mother sentient beings bound to the sky have happiness and causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that's free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment, aversion. May all mother sentient beings bound to the sky have happiness and causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that's free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all mother sentient beings bound as the sky have happiness and causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and causes of suffering. May they be never separated from the happiness that's free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. Thank you. So this is first, it's called opening prayers. Just know they are, as I mentioned, very important at the beginning, at the middle, at the end, all the way. So then, as I mentioned, the mind, our mind is very important. It's not just a brain, a flesh, piece of flesh on your head, in the skull. I mentioned here, once I was here, I mentioned that, see, the mind has 2 places to live, brain and heart too. The brain is the office of the mind. The heart is the home of the mind. That makes sense, isn't it? When the mind goes here, becomes so busy, like you're in the office, all the works you're doing, And when the mind comes to the heart, the mind says, I'm at home, now I relax. So the love, compassion comes from the heart. All the intelligence comes from the brain. Because the mind is working in the office, you know. Yeah. So meditate like this. Oh, you just say the mind is yes, I have mind. Okay. So the first this I want to say. Is now 10. Okay, very good. Then this weekend we are programmed to talk about the 4 Dharmas of Gampopa. Okay. 4 Dharmas of Gampopa. Gampopa was a great, I should say, historical teacher. He came in Tibet, end of 10th century, beginning of 11th century, in there. So all Dharma teachings, as mentioned, Buddha taught. Buddha taught all the complete teachings and transmitted through the lineage. Now, the teacher studied all this Buddha's teaching and then practiced, experienced, and then talked to the disciples. Like in India, from Buddha to Nagarjuna, Asanka, and so forth, Telopa, Naropa, Then if you know, maybe you don't know, the Marpa, who came in the 10th century, he born in Tibet. And then he saw how the Buddha's teaching is precious to serve the humanity. Then he sacrificed his life, made journey to India 3 times. The Tibet is in high altitude, Himalayas, so cold, very high. And India is down there, so hot, humid, forest. And he journeyed by himself. No friends, no groups. He carried his provision, food, clothes on his back and then walked. There was no train, no airplane, no cars to drive. Walked day and days for many, many days in the forest. There was no bridges to those big rivers like Ganges River. Those he has to just rely on the ship, boat to cross. But as I mentioned, his mind was so brave, altruistic thought. The Buddha Dharma is the only can help the humanity. And then he looked for best teacher at that time. Who's the best in the scholarship and then practice, you see, not just only scholarship. There are some very great scholars who can explain, but realization is not easy. So he made such a great teacher like Naropa, Metipa, the top 2, and the other many, Shivasambo, like those. He said that he has a total 13 great masters that he attended and received teachings. Then, after bringing all those teachings that he studied for 40 years, and then practice, daytime he go to teach, receive teachings, at night he practiced. And then he came back to Tibet. And then he was not just publicizing, I'm a great master, everybody should come, we're like now that we do, you know. Oh, this is it. We have to over publicize, you know, overstatement, you know, a lot of exaggerations. We have to make that to prove this teaching is so important, you know. But that time, they hide teachings. They don't publicize so much. Only word of mouth go around. So because of that, so Marpa has 4 famous disciples, not many, 4 and 5. So one of them is called Milarepa. You have heard of. When Milarepa attended Marpa, it was not easy. You know, if you read his life story, not easy at all. But Milarepa did it. He went through, passed through, pleased the Marpa. So because of that, Marpa has granted or bestowed all the teachings that he received from his great masters. And Milarepa, he also, in his whole life in the retreat, digesting those teachings within him. It's not easy to get rid of our ego. Through the investigation, where's your ego? He says, no. In your skin, in your eyes, in your ear, where, inside lungs, or where, heart, you don't see ego. It's just a level. But at the same time, it's so strong. My ego is very strong, you know. It's unbeatable. It's a crude oil, you know. You know, it's so wild. It's very sensitive. So to handle that takes a lot of time. So that's why he went to the retreat for the rest of his life, to digest all those teachings, to embody himself the enlightened qualities that Buddha taught. That now here many people know Milarepa. So in the Buddhist history, Milarepa is one of the most vivid pictures. Everybody talks about Milarepa. His teachings are so fresh. That's why our lineage is called practicing lineage. So Gampopa was a disciple of Milarepa. But before meeting Milarepa, he studied the school called Kadambam. There's another great teacher from India, a very famous, well scholar, learned Mahapandita, as well practice all the Buddhist teachings. It was called Adisha. Now, he visited Tibet. So then, after he visited Tibet, then he taught Dharma teachings. And he gathered some very gifted disciples. And that lineage is called Kadamba school. So there are many great scholars. These teachings from Asanga, the 5 treatises of the Metripa, Matia, meditation, or Champa, Jasap Champa. And then his own writings. So then from Nagarjuna, all the mathematical systems, all the teaching came through the Kadamba tradition. And Gampopa studied first to do all those things. For many years, he became monk and well meditated. He can meditate for many days without food. Well established, great masters. But that time, if you know, many of you know, the Sutra system and Vajrayana Tantra system, they have little conflict. Vajrayana practitioners, they look down on the Sutra system, or they are Hinayana, or they are a long way to go, we are so advanced, We can practice this Reti Yoga that, we are so advanced, And the Sutra systems, they say, we are well equipped. This is the real Buddha's teachings, And they are wild, They drink and they do these things that, So they have little conflict. So those Sutrayana practitioners and then Vajrayana practitioners, they don't get along well. So Kadamba school was a very much Sutrayana system. They don't so much emphasize Vajrayana, because their life is wild. Should not be like that. Buddha's teaching should be very peaceful, drinking, the playing. This is a display of the yogi, So because of this, Gampopa first studied all from the Kadamba school. He was well equipped, all the teachings, the meditation, that's called meditation lineage, classical, the study lineage. Oh, he was such a great, gifted master he became. And all that time, all the Kadamba monks and teachers have a high expectation to Gampopa because his gentleness, his wisdom, his skill. But then he heard of Milarepa, the Vajrayana teachings, and he was so drawn to Milarepa. So I must go to see Milarepa. He's now old. Milarepa at that time was in the 80s, maybe 81, 82, somewhere there, 83, So then he met Jani for a whole month from central Tibet to the western Tibet. And then he met Milarepa. And then Milarepa asked, what you have studied, all this, and he said, all this, I have studied these things. Now I come here to receive all these teachings, what you have, that you received from Marpa. So then Milarepa was so pleased, so happy, He said, you are welcome. I'm so happy you are here, But we have to do this step by step. I can't give this all at one time. So daytime, he was receiving teachings. At night, he was practicing, So that step by step, this all the Vajrayana Mahamudra teachings, the 6 yogas of Narupa teachings, all the essence of the Vajrayana teachings. During those meditation, Gampopa's in the session one day, he saw 1,000 Buddha, in his meditation. It's not imagination. Just directly he saw 1,000 Buddha. And the Gampopa was very excited. Oh, I'm so happy, So then he went to Milarepa. He said, today I saw 1,000 Buddhas. In the center is Buddha Shakyamuni there, Milarepa said, okay. This is not so much, he said. This is neither good nor bad. But go ahead, Go ahead, your practice. Still, Gampopa went back to his meditation hut. Even though my Lama said, neither good nor bad, but still I feel so good. So then, and after that, Gampopa kept doing his practice meditation, all the way. Then one day he saw the Vajra Yedam deities, the 9 with entourage, retinues, and he was so excited. Oh, I see the Vajra today, in my meditation, It's not a dream. It's not just my hallucination, not my imagination, but it's real in meditation. I saw, And then again he went to Milarepa and recalled, he said that I saw. Milarepa said, oh yeah, this is neither good nor bad, you should continue, So Gampopa went back to his meditation. So meanwhile, he's receiving all those complete teachings, and Gampopa was going through all this experience, wonderful, such important things. After receiving all those teachings, instructions, then Milarepa once day said, now you saw Nirmanakaya, the emanation body of the Buddha, the 1,000 Buddha. You saw Sabokakaya Buddha, the enjoyment Buddha. These are the form body. They're still to go, not enough. Now you have to see, you have to realize Dhammakaya, the wisdom body of the Buddha, yourself. Now I have given to all the instructions to you. See, Milarepa was a lay practitioner. He was not monk, So you should understand that. Sometimes you say, we are lay practitioner, how much you can expect, Milarepa was lay practitioner, lay person. Gampopa was monk. So Milarepa had a very high regard Gampopa. He taught Dharma teachings according to that And then you are Bhikkhu. Bhikkhu means monk, full-ordained monk. Bhikkhu, who holds the Vajrayana teachings, Gelong Dorjin Zemba. And you are well famed in the world. Jambudvipa Kirti. Jambudvipa means world. Kirti is fame. You would be famous all over the world. So Milarepa gave that his name to Gampopa. Today, your name is Gelong Dorjin Zemba, the Vajra holder Bhikkhu. And the well-known or well-famed in the world. Gelong Dorjin Zemba, Zamni Tapa in Tibetan. So now you go back to central Tibet, but don't wander here and there. stay in the retreat until you achieve Dharmakaya. See, when you achieve the Dharmakaya, at that time, you will see me, not just this old, ugly man, but you will see me as a Buddha Vajradhara. No. So that's a time, then you can give teachings to the disciples. So Gampopa received all those instructions and left for Central Tibet. And then he meditated for 6 years, you see, in the retreat, okay? See? And then at the end of the 6 years, all these delusions, mental obscurations, all the leftovers are fully purified. He directly perceived the Dharmakaya. So Gampopa was not that simple. So from then, the Gampopa was giving teachings. Okay? And then his lineage was called Dakpo Kagyu because he resided Dakpo. It's a southern Tibet. There's a place called Dakpo. In that mountain. Tala Gampo. No, you say Gampopa. Gampo is the name of the mountain. Gampopa is the person who resides there. So it's called Gampopa. And that he was the one, Vajrayana and the Sudra system, without any contradiction. He taught thousands of the monks' teachings. All Buddha's teaching is nothing but to purify our obscurations, mental obscurations, mental delusions. So I feel we're very fortunate in this 21st century to hear the just name of the Gampopa, to reflect about the Gampopa. Very fortunate. It's not easy. No. You should await this. You all should rejoice yourself. Gampopa was such a great teacher. He was not only that. Then in his teaching, when he would give teachings, to thousands of monks. So there were 3 prominent disciples he has. Pamutuba, and the first Karmapa, Gyaltshen Khyamba, and the third one. Somehow these 3, they stay together closely. So there's some misunderstanding with the disciplinary in that mountain, in that monastery, the what's called the caretaker of the monastery, the monk, the head of the monk, disciplinary. He was very strict. So said, you have to get out of the monastery. And they said, can we really go? And they said, in that case, can we see our Lama, Gampopa, just a short second? He said, no, you go. Then, while they are going out, Gampopa's shrine was a little shaking, like earthquake, So he told his attendant, what's happening? There's something is going on. So his attendant went outside. So then he informed Gampopa, those 3, the top monks, they are going out. So Gampopa said, oh, that's not so good. If they're leaving the monastery, I have no reason to stay here. I also go. But then Gampopa went out and then from the distance said, please come back. So there's a song. If you see there's a Rain of Wisdom, there's a song Gampopa made, come back. So then Gampopa explained, you don't go out. You should come back. Stay here. You cannot find a better place than this for retreat. You cannot find a better Dharma brothers, sisters than in other place. You cannot find a spiritual master who's like me, a better anywhere else. Not only this life, but at the time of Buddha, I was born as a Buddha's disciple. It's called Dayu Shunu, Chandra Prabhava Kumara. I was called that time. And I requested Buddha to teach the teaching of the king of the meditative state. Samadhi Raja Sutra. I requested the Buddha to teach that. And at the end of the teachings, there may be few volumes on that. Then Buddha asked, in the future, who will make promise to give this teaching to the future generations? So at that time, I stood up and I made the promise to give these teachings to the followers. And that time, you guys also promised to help me know where you are going for other places. See, so that's how Gampopa was. He remembers directly that he was born at the time of Buddha, receiving all those teachings, So you see, that's why I mentioned, to hear the name of the Gampopa and these stories you're hearing were so fortunate. This is not something accidentally happened. This has happened, there's a reason. You should rejoice on this. Okay. So Gampopa's, that's just small, just to see what Gampopa was about. Now the four Dharmas of Gampopa, see, only 4 lines you see. In Tibetan we chant, so we have just 4 lines. We should give me, grant me blessings so that our mind, all the sentient beings, our mind follow into the Dharma. Okay, into the give me blessings, all the sentient beings' mind, the Dharma follow into the path. Second, give me blessings, all the sentient beings, now the mistake, confusion may remove from the path. Okay. And the fourth, give me blessings so that the error, the confusion dawn into wisdom, or as wisdom. So this is the 4 line. And this 4 line that we will talk today, tomorrow, so profound. Has a complete path. It contains both Sutra and Vajrayana teachings. We should understand that. And this all are to train the mind. See, as I mentioned, it's not just a religion. It's not just a Buddhism. Since we all wish to free from suffering, we all wish to have peace and happiness. This is the way how to achieve that state. Make sense? And you ask yourself, we come from limitless lifetime. What went wrong? You see? Still, I've not awakened. What happened, you know? So this is what it's talking about, okay? Yeah. Shall we make a short break? Oh, yes, it's just a second. Yes, mantra is here. Here, page 24. From the after the 4 line. Om Banza Sato Samaya, Mano Palaya, Banza Sato Tenopa, Tisha Dedro Membawa, Sudu Kayo Membawa, Subu Kayo, Anorado Membawa, Sarwa Sete Me Prayata, Sarwa Karma Suza Me, Zetan Shriya Guru, Ha 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 Ha, Bhagawan, Sarwa Tata Tata, Bandra Mame. Bawa ma samaya sato a om badra sato samaya manu palaya badra sato teno pa tisra deto sudo kayo membawa sudo kayo membawa anora de membawa sarva siddhi me praya sarva karma sud cetana shriya guru homo ha bhagavan sarva tadanga dandra Barzembawa ma samaya sato a om batra sato samaya manu palaya batra sato ten Tisrande to membawa soto kayo membawa soto kayo membawa anuratu Sarva siddhi me prayasa sarva karma suza me cetana shriya guru hum ha 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 Sarva Tatanga Bandra Mame Mozam Barzem Ma Samaya Sato Ah. Okay, thank you. Maybe make a 15 minutes break.
Zoom will stay open for the next 15 minutes during the break.
Coffee and snacks downstairs for the next 15 minutes and browse through the bookstore and things.
Azowa yarandu zarwandu ranza ranzandu mamandu bezoa. Mama zagrazo yarandu zarwandu randa randandu mamandu bezoa. Mama zagrazo yarandu zarwandu randa randandu mamandu bezoa. Mama zagrazo yarandu zarwandu ranza ranzandu mamandu bezoa. Mama zagazo yarandu zarwandu ranza ranzandu mamandu bezoa. Mama zagazo yarandu zarwandu ranza ranzandu mamandu bezoa. Mama zagrazo yarandu zarwandu ranza ranzandu mamandu bezoa. Mama zagrazo yarandu zarwandu ranza ranzandu mamandu bezoa. Mama zagrazo yarandu zarwandu ranza ranzandu bezoa. Mama zagrazo yarandu zarwandu ranza ranzandu mamandu 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 bezoa. Mama zagoso yarandu zarwandu ranza ranzandu mamandu bezoa. Mama zagrazo yarandu zarwandu ranza ranzandu mamandu bezoa. Mama zagrazo yarandu zarwandu ranza ranzandu mamandu bezoa. Mama zagrazo yarandu zarwandu ranza ranzandu mamandu bezoa. Mama zagazo yarandu zarwandu ranza ranzandu mamandu bezoa. Mama zagazo yarandu zarwandu ranza ranzandu mamandu bezoa. Mama zagrazo yarandu zarwandu ranza ranzandu mamandu bezoa. Mama zagrazo yarandu zarwandu Ranza ranza du mama du besoa. Om mama zakra so va yarandu zarvandu. Ranza ranza du mama du besoa. Om mama zakra so va yarandu zarvandu. Ranza ranza du mama du besoa. Om mama zakra so va yarandu zarvandu. Ranza ranza du mama du besoa. Om mama zakra so va yarandu zarvandu. Ranza ranza du mama du besoa. Om mama zakra so va yarandu zarvandu. Ranza ranza du mama du besoa. Om mama zakra so va yarandu zarvandu. Ranza ranza du mama du besoa. Om mama zakra so va yarandu zarvandu. Ranza ranza du mama du besoa. Om mama zakra so va yarandu zarvandu. Ranza ranza du mama du besoa. Om mama zakra so va yarandu zarvandu. Ranza ranza du mama du besoa. Om mama zakra so va yarandu zarvandu. Ranza ranza du mama du besoa. Om mama zakra so va yarandu zarvandu. Ranza ranza du mama du besoa. Om mama zakra so va yarandu zarvandu. Ranza ranza du mama du besoa. Om mama zakra so va yarandu zarvandu. Ranza ranza du mama du besoa. Om mama zakra so va yarandu zarvandu. Ranza ranza du mama du besoa. Om mama zakra so va yarandu zarvandu. Ranza ranza du mama du besoa. Om mama zakra so va yarandu zarvandu. Ranza ranza du mama du besoa. Om mama zakra so va yarandu zarvandu. Ranza ranza du mama du besoa. Om mama zakra so va yarandu zarvandu. Ranza ranza du mama du besoa. Om mama zakra so va yarandu zarvandu. Ranza ranza du mama du
Kenshin, please unmute. We had to mute you.
Okay.
Thank you. Are you teaching?
I'll switch so you can see everybody. Unless you like it like this.
Now you're not muted,
Okay.
okay.
There you
That's
go.
better.
Yeah, then you can see the.
Yeah, then I can see all the rest. Yes.
Then I can see everyone. So,
Very
yeah,
good. Yes.
wonderful.
Wunderbar. Manda to everybody offering. Oh. This Amanda is here. Yes, I see. Bonnie. Yeah. Now everyone is refreshed. Banza Sato Samaya, Manopalaya, Banza Sato Tenopa, Tita Teton. Sudokaya Membawa, Subukaya Membawa, Anurado Membawa, Sarva Sete Meprayasa, Sarva Karma, Sudame. Tidana, Shreya, Guru, Hongo, Ha Ha, Babawana, Sarva, Tatangata, Badrama, Mimunza, Barzembawa. Mahasamaya Sato, Banza Sato Samaya, Manopalaya, Badra Sato Tenopa, Tita Teto, Mebawa, Sudokaya Membawa, Subukaya. Anurado Membawa, Sarva Sete Meprayasa, Sarva Karma, Sudame. Tidana, Shreya, Guru, Hongo, Ha Ha, Babawana. So Tatangata Barzama Memunza Barzembawa Mahasamaya Sato, Badra Sato Samaya, Manopalaya, Badra Sato Tenopa. Tisnateto Membawa, Sudokaya Membawa, Subukaya Membawa, Anurado Membawa, Sarva Sete Meprayasa, Sarva Karma. Tidana Shreya Guru Hongo, Ha Ha, Bhagavan, So Tatangata Barzama Mem. Barzembawa Mahasamaya Sato, Before we start the four Dharmas of Gampopa, here Deborah has included Gampopa's very concise Guru Yoga practice, which may be helpful, not just only this weekend, but if you want to practice anytime in the future, is good. So I go through briefly, it's because it's very concise. Succinct. You know succinct? What's that mean? Flesh short. It helps if you do this practice, it helps purify your whole body, speech, and mind. It's nothing but just purification. Okay. So I'll read just briefly. It says complete, but very concise. So, Gampopa Guru Yoga, all sorts of blessings. That's the name of the Guru Yoga. So, in co-emergent bliss and emptiness, the Dharmakaya. So Dharmakaya, there's co-emergent is Mahamudra, the absolute nature of your mind. Okay, that absolute nature of your mind is emptiness, means absence of all the delusion. Because of its absence of all delusion, its nature is bliss, unafflicted bliss. Okay, so that's the Dharmakaya. So that I take refuge until I attain awakenings. I take refuge in this until I become Buddha, until I realize this. Okay. Although all beings, all sentient beings, every sentient beings, human beings, non-human beings, those who have consciousness, since are primordially Buddha by nature. That nature itself is nothing but enlightened. So now I don't go so detailed just about this. They are deluded, you see. Even though there are full nature of effulgence, enlightened nature, luminosity, nature of all the goodness, yet they are deluded, as just I mentioned this morning. So because of this, to realize their essence, to realize the essence of their mind, the enlightened nature, I give rise to bodhicitta, the enlightened attitude, that I practice this to achieve all sentient beings complete enlightenment. So you cultivate your mind and make the mind such great as a space. Take refuge to the enlightened nature, and then cultivate all sentient beings who are suffering so much in the samsara. They are desperate, but they don't know. So you just infuse compassion to generate that mind. Right now, I don't have the ability to help, but I have to cultivate this mind so that I can help everybody. Just, this is because of taking refuge and cultivation of the artistic thought of the enlightenment. Then visualization is mentioned very short. You are this Gampopa. You are the perfection of purity and attainment. Dharmakaya, Bhajadara, as I mentioned. He attended Dharmakaya, realized the Mahamudra, so that he achieved the Dharmakaya. Then you are the great bliss, the Sambhogakaya, shining forth with the measure and manner marks. As I mentioned, he got the vision of the Sambhogakaya, the Vajra, Buddha. And you are the all-pervading compassion. Your compassion pervades every sentient being. That the Nirmanakaya, the emanation, the emanation body of the Buddha, Shakyamuni, Nirmanakaya, taming beings according to their needs. Buddha gave the teaching step by step, so sentient beings follow the path. So you are the embodiment of these three bodies: the complete enlightened body, the Sambhogakaya body, the Nirmanakaya body. Yeah. You are the world-renowned master of the Kadamba and the Mahamudra lineage, as mentioned this morning. Mahamudra lineage is come from Milarepa. So that's Gampopa. So look at the picture here, very simple. In front of you, inseparable of appearance and emptiness. Not something fresh, body, stable, like a rainbow body, with the nature of wisdom and compassion. Alive, fresh. Okay. With this, then we chant the mantra here. Namo Guru. This is Sanskrit now. This is Sanskrit. Namo Guru. I pay homage to the Guru, who Jambudipa Dharma Kirti, the well known in the world. Okay. Mahamudra, the total realization of your mind. That's called Mahamudra. Siddhi Phala means Siddhi means achievement. Phala means fruit. The fruit of achievements may I achieve, may I realize. So chant this mantra. And then that time you meditate from Gampopa's body, light radiate to all the sentient beings who are suffering, who are deluded out of great compassion. And you just, light goes round, dispel their confusion, dispel their suffering. And light also reflect to you, and your suffering also purify. So this is the practice of your compassion to all the sentient beings, including those people who hate you or who irritates you. So all, regardless of who they are, impartially, human beings, animals, fish, sea mammals, birds, those sentient beings who are suffering. The light goes to everywhere, so that you can do the meditation during chanting the mantra. Say, Namo Guru Gampopa Kirtima Mutra Siddhi Pala Om. Then you say this supplication prayer. It's called supplication prayer, a blessing supplication. You wear Supushpa Chandra. That goes, life story of Gampopa goes before Buddha Shakyamuni Buddha. Many eons ago, he was born as a Bodhisattva called the Supushpa Chandra, who with him, there were, I think, 7,000 Bodhisattvas together in the forest meditating. So he voluntarily came down to the kingdom to all the people in that country to free from the delusions, to making condition for the enlightenment. He came down and gave teachings to the people. The king was not happy, and because of that, the king persecuted him. So this monk is not real monk, no? So like this, and he sacrificed his life and liberated countless centuries at that time. Then later he born as a, you see, Betmo Taram. Betmotaram is the name of Buddha. Gampopa was born as a Buddha, formed Buddha's activities. Then you see, in the presence of the Shakyamuni, you were Chandra Prabha Kumara, as I mentioned before this morning, that he was born that. So here in this land of snow, means in Tibet, mountains, snow mountains, you are known as the physician monk. Gampopa was not just Buddhist scholar, but he was also great physician, doctor. He learned, studies, lot medicines. He healed, so he was called the physician. Haje, in Tibet is called Haje, Dakul Haje, the physician from Dakul, the monk physician. So you have that kind of history. Okay? So I supplicate you who were prophesied by the victor, means Buddha. So Buddha has prophesied Gampopa's coming in the Samadhi Raja Sutra, and then the great Lotus Compassion Sutra, meaning, Gampopa as the Buddha highly praised that he will come and benefit from the sentient beings. So you are such an enlightened being. So we develop great devotion to his service to the sentient beings. Life after life, you see, without resting, because sentient beings are suffering so much. And their compassion, such a classic car. That compassion that Gampopa has totally dominates. Without choice, he has to reborn, benefit sentient beings. Because sentient beings are so suffering, and because so stupid, we deliberately create a cause, our own suffering by ourselves. Like for example, like those are like drug idiot, In the country, legally, the drugs are not allowed. If you use drug, you will be persecuted, you will be put in jail, but still they're suffering so much. Put into the jail, cost money, cost their life, cost their peace and happiness, So like that, we're the prison of the samsara. Our suffering so much. We work so hard in our whole life, isn't it? It's just you work so hard then at the end of the day, nothing is accomplished. We have to leave behind everything, including this body. See, we cherish our body so much. We sacrifice everything for our body. But at the end of the day, we have to leave the body behind. We eat all the delicious food, go to see all the beautiful places. Nothing satisfies at the end. Those billionaires, they leave the billions behind. They cannot take a penny with them. I said that. So look, think about this. We have the Dharma. So those great teachers, they teach us these things. How to protect ourselves. So don't be too stupid. Don't stay in the samsara too long. Do something, little better. Behave yourself better, Don't be always crude. No crude. Am I saying right? Don't be so crude all the time yourself. Is right word to use? You don't know. I mean, wake up, okay? You say. So that kind of great master, embodiment of compassion, wisdom, you just visualize and chant mantra, light radiates from there to the infinite, to yourself, to sentient beings. So you said this, okay, that. Then, after saying that, receiving the blessings is called the empowerment and dissolution, or dissolution, yes. Now you are here, you receive, is called purification. You purify, okay? So, by the blessings, power of this one-pointed supplication, light rays emanate from the 4 places of the Guru, Gampopa, and dissolves into mind, your 4 places. I'll explain that. So the 4 empowerments are excellently obtained, received, and the Guru dissolves into me. So this is, then you relax there, body state, relax, one-pointed mind, from Gampopa's forehead, from the forehead, white light. White light is the embodiment of wisdom body, emanate, dissolve into your forehead, and pervade your entire body. That time, all negative karma or actions, whatever we did, purify. And then your body turn into enlightened body. And you receive base empowerment. And plant the seed to achieve the nirvana kaya, the emanation body of the Buddha. Then from Gampopa's throat, the red light symbolized the wisdom speech of all the Buddhas that emerge and dissolve at your throat, pervade your entire speech and the body. That time, all the negative actions that you have done through the speech are fully purified. Then you realize all the voice sounds are like as echo and echo. You know echo, you see. When you go to the mountain, Rocky Mountain, you shout, hi, hello. Shout back to you. And you say, you are so wonderful. And the sound, the echo will say, you are so wonderful. And then you say, you are so ugly. And the sound back to you are so ugly. It means nothing. All in the world is like that. When you meet your friends, relatives, oh, you are so beautiful, you are so good, you are so healthy. Oh, you too, you are so good, you are so no. And people you don't like, yes, this is so ugly, and they will say you are so ugly, you know. It's all an echo. You see? So we are fighting, suffering in the echo. So this is how to realize every sound as an echo. Don't attach to an echo. They come and go. All things are illusory nature. They just manifest and dissolve like flower. They're so fresh. When first when you buy, you pay the money, you know, it smells so fresh, so good. But after a few days, it fades. You throw it in the trash. Everything's so anyhow, this purify your all obscurations of the speech, negative karmas. And then, see, you plant this is called the secret empowerment. You plant the seed to achieve the Sabokakaya Buddha. So then from Gampopa's heart level, a blue light, pristine blue light that represents all the profound wisdom of all the Buddhas that is dissolved at your heart level. Meditate, all your mental delusions are purified, dispelled. Your mind is become like this edge of the space, free, it's totally free. It's got free from elaboration. Found the vastness, unconfined mind, the vastness like the space. Meditate. So this is called receiving the wisdom empowerment. And you plant the seed to achieve the Dharmakaya of the Buddha. And then from Gampopa's navel level, yellow light, golden color light emerge, which is the embodiment of all the Buddha's wisdom, body, speech, and mind that dissolve into your navel level, pervades your entire body, speech, and mind. Meditate, the dualistic state of the body, speech, mind are purified. Whole body, speech, mind is just as an illusion. Inseparable nature of the Buddhas. Then after that, Gampopa melt into light and they dissolve into you from the crown of your head. Pervade your entire body, speech, and mind. Now yourself and the Gampopa become inseparable. You meditate. It's called Mahamudra state. It's called the fourth empowerment, receiving the fourth empowerment, and planting the seed of the Sarvavakakaya, the fourth body of the Buddha. And you just meditate there. This is purification practice, receiving blessings, or way to realize your mind, yourself. So that's what's called my mind is the guru in a fresh, natural state. So this is just a short intro. We can, if we go explanation, it can go so long, but we don't have time so much. So there you can meditate as long as you like. Don't press your mind, thought, just relax. As it is called uncontrived, unfabricated nature, because we purified all the delusions. Delusion to our body, we're so attached to ourselves, purified that attachment. We purify our negative speech, we purify our negative thoughts, mind. No, the subtle obscurations are fully purified. And then you just realize whole nature as it is destiny, your real being. Okay? That's your absolute being, yourself. Unfabricated. No chemicals. Okay. So after meditating there, as long as you want, few minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour, and at the end you do this dedication prayer. It's very important. Say, within the purity of the three spheres is the I, and the object of the meditation, and the practicing meditation yourself or dedication yourself. The three spheres are free. I dedicate all the accumulations of the virtues in the samsara and nirvana. So everyone, sentient beings, enlightened beings, all the virtues they have, bring into your bodhicitta mind, the enlightened mind. And then to see, for all beings to achieve the body that possesses the threefold purity. Threefold purity is twofold. The pure as it is right from the beginning. Our nature is pure, right from the beginning. But then, as mentioned, the adventitious obscuration, diluted. So that purified through this practice. So twofold of purification. Primordially pure, and then purify the adventitious obscurations. Then we born again as the enlightened being. Okay? So that thus may the equal taste be experienced in the great equanimity of Dharma. May all sentient beings experience this taste of the enlightenment. And then you just rejoice. Expectation. There's nothing to expect. This actual practice. Purify all your attachment, aversion, greed, jealousy, whatever they are. So when you practice loving kindness to all, as mentioned, compassion to all, they will take care of this, our mind, of the attachment and aversion and jealousy and so forth, pride and all of this. So they are the one which gives us all the suffering, that cause of suffering is within us. The outside is just occasionally happens, not every day, but every day we are going through because of mental afflictions. If you're aware that, So this is the prayer you practice you can do if you rush. So sometimes I wrote, not just from my confused mind, but rely on those great teachings, based on those great teachings, a life story of Gampopa, okay, put together. Because I've been in the country for 40 years, So some people say, our other practices so long, we have no time, So I have to rush for work, and then come back, I'm tired, I cannot go through all these long texts, Then I put together like this kind of, you can finish within, if you rush, you can finish within 10 minutes, 15 minutes. If you're not being lazy, then you can do it within 10 minutes, 15 minutes. But you can also expand your test for hours, sessions, see, include all those other information. Just relax. Then after you coming from work, you are tired, but before you go to bed, if you do this for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you get really good rest. Bring all the light into you, dissolve into you, meditate, gives you such great comfort, even before enlightenment, okay? Just in our daily life, you get the benefit. Then of course, for the enlightenment, main purpose is to free from samsara, enlightenment. But meanwhile, we also need support, help. So this will help you. If you're by yourself, you just say, this is enough for me, good. Really, I can rely on this, practice this way. So precious. Okay, so this is the a short Gampopa's meditation practice. We want to do short practice on this now. Okay? Now we chant, okay? Let's do when we have time. Just short, we'll do short, okay? Time is very precious. First, we'll say this together, okay? First, this refuge and bodhicitta, we repeat 3 times. Okay? In co-emergent bliss and emptiness, the Dharma Kaya, I take refuge until I attain awakening. Although all beings are primordially Buddhas by nature, they are deluded. To realize essence, I give rise to bodhicitta. In co-emergent bliss and emptiness, Vakaya, I take refuge until I emerge in image. Although all beings are primordially Buddhas by nature, they are deluded. To realize the essence, I give rise to bodhicitta. In co-emergent bliss and emptiness, Amakaya, I take refuge until I attain awakening. Although all beings are primordially Buddhas by nature, they are deluded. To realize the essence, give rise to bodhicitta. Now this we just recite once. You are the perfection, purity of attainment, the Dharma Kaya, Vajradhara. You are great bliss, the Sambhogakaya, shining forth with a measure and manner of mass. You are all pervading completion, the Nirmana Kaya, taming beings according to their needs. You are the world-renowned master of the Konchok, the Mahamudra lineage. Namo Guru Jambo Deva Kirti Mahamudra Siti Bala. Namo Guru Jambo Deva Kirti Mahamudra Siti Bala. Namo Guru Jambo Deva Mahamudra Siti Bala. Namo Guru Jambo Kirti Mahamudra Siti Bala. Namo Guru Jambo Deva 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 Kirti Mahamudra Siti Bala. Namo 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 Jambo Deva Kirti Mahamudra Siti Bala. Next, we'll repeat this 3 times. You wears Pushpa Chandra and Vatman Kotra. For the present of the Shakyamuni, you wears Chandra Prabhava Kumara. Here in this land of snow mountains, you are known as the physician monk. I supplicate you who wears both eyes by the patron. You wears Pushpa Chandra and Batmat Kotra. In the presence of the Shakyamuni, you wears Chandra Prabhava Kumara. Here in this land of snow mountains, you are known as the physician monk. I supplicate you who wears presides by the victor. You wears Pushpa Tantra and Padma Kotra. In the presence of the Shakyamuni, you wears Chandra Kumara Prabha. Here in this land of snow mountains, you are known as the physician monk. I supplicate you who were prophesied by victor. Now, here we first we chant this once, then as I mentioned, explain, then you receive all the empowerment step by step. Okay. First, you relax your body, mind, just be here, relax. And feeling of gratitude, fortunate yourself. By the blessings, power of this one-pointed supplication, light rays emanate from the 4 places of the Guru and dissolve into mine, the 4 empowerments and excellent good, and the Gurus dissolve into me. My mind is the Guru in a fresh, natural state. Thank you. Then we'll do the dedication. Within the purity of the three spheres, I dedicate all accumulations of virtues in samsara and nirvana for all beings to achieve the bhakti and possess the twofold purity. Thus, the experience in the great equanimity of the Dharma. Thank you. Now we have 15 minutes to start. Okay. By the way, do you have any questions? Yes.
Yeah, these four empowerments.
Yes.
That is base empowerment,
Yes.
and
Secret empowerment, and wisdom empowerment, and fourth. It's called fourth. The fourth empowerment.
oh,
Yes. Or sometimes called the precious word empowerment. Word, the precious word empowerment. Because your nature of the mind, just a word can say, but cannot show you directly. Okay, you have to experience yourself. Your mind is responsible for yourself. Yes.
the three spheres.
Oh,
What were the
three spheres. This means generally say jimpa, jinja, lempu, tongpu, tongs. Just for example, when you practice anyway, first when you study, practice, this is not so easy. Okay. But this is the ultimate way to achieve Buddhahood. First, first here I feel I'm real, you see. I don't feel I'm illusion, or illusory body, I'm real. My suffering is real. It's painful. My happiness is real, So when I eat food, I'm eating real food, So in that state, there's no free from three spheres. It's called duality. Just concrete duality. Then I feel I'm clean. Okay. And I'm just joyful. This is me, I, ego. Nobody can touch my ego. Okay. Then you study Dharma teaches this way, and everything's in impermanent, illusory nature, manifestation. My body is not just one, this is my right hand, my left hand. My left hand is not my right hand, my right eye is not my left eye, Oh, my body is the composite of many things. You see, 4 elements, So we need to balance the elements. That's why we try. When you get hot, we try to balance the heat, bringing air conditioning. When it's so cold, we cannot handle the cold, and we bring the kind of heat system, because our body is composed of 4 elements: the water, the earth, the air, and the fire. So we have to balance. So this way, it's just one. It's not just one. Our life is such a delicate, sensitive. We can't tolerate heat. We can't tolerate cold. Because when it's too hot, it's against the cold. When it's too cold, it's against the heat. So I have to balance. So this is saying how delicate we are, how fragile we are. See this the fragility nature. So sensitive, It's not just one. It's like a bubble. See this. Then when you see this, where's the ego? Nowhere. It's just a concept. It's just a notion. It's just labeled. It's just imputed. So look, these things. Yeah, when you see this way, it's all just a manifestation. The causes and conditions. Without the cause, there's no. Without the causes and conditions, nothing manifests. All the manifestations coming out of causes and conditions. It's just a reflection. It's a mental imagination, mental reflection, you see. This is just neutral, neither good nor bad. But my mental reflection, I make this very good. Or my mental reflection, I make this bad. So your best friend can become your enemy because your mental reflection. So see these things. That's why I mentioned the mind is very complex. It's not outside this. Right now we see this all exists real, I can touch, But slowly you can see it's just a reflection. So through this, then you realize nothing but just reflection. Mind itself is nowhere. Then see, there's nothing to fear, nothing to worry about. Then you achieve the fearlessness, things to, as I mentioned. So this way, then, there are some people, say, you give something. So you are giver, and that other person is the receiver, and the object is a gift. So then you realize yourself, the giver is nothing but illusory nature. The receiver is nothing but illusory nature. The gift is nothing but illusory nature. Then you see there's nothing to hold on. There's nothing to grasp. So that you're starting getting into the free from the three spheres. Okay, sphere is total, So within that you see. Then you see you have the Buddha nature, and everyone has a Buddha nature. There's no difference. There's nothing to be discriminated. That's what's called, okay? It's a good step, isn't it? That's how you progress, go step by step, And there's a lot of to chew, If you have a really good the wisdom of teeth, there's a lot of things to chew. Yes. Huh? Twofold, as I mentioned, First pure, as I mentioned, everyone has a Buddha nature. It's pure. Your total nature is pure. Because of that, you want peace and happiness, because your nature is pure. Pure is peace and happiness. See, that's your nature. But because of the adventitious obscuration, then that obscure the purity, you're missing that, so you want. So then when you work like this Dharma practice, you like receiving the 4 empowerments, purify step by step by lesson down, lose down, purify, make less these obscurations. And after some time, then you connect to your pure nature. So it is true purity. Any?
There are,
Yes, sorry.
Khenchen, there are some questions on Zoom. Did you want to take those?
So that's it?
There's some people on Zoom that have questions.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Melissa?
Thank you, Marilyn.
Yeah, you can pass down to me.
Tuktate Rinpoche, thank you for these amazing teachings and the blessing that you wrote the Guru Yoga. I have 2 questions. One is really quick. What is the Sambhogakaya aspect of Gampopa?
I'm YouTube? I'm okay? Okay, thank you.
I don't think he can hear me. I'm unmuted, Marilyn.
So
Thank
now
you.
finish?
I don't think you can hear me.
Oh yeah, okay.
Can you hear from
They're
Zoom?
worrying about me. So you're okay.
Are you able? Oh, I'm muted. That's odd.
No, you're back now, Marilyn.
Okay, I don't know who muted me. Can you hear us on Zoom, Khenchen? I don't think so.
Mhm.
I don't think so. I
Okay, what's the question now?
Melissa, do you want to give it another try?
So,
Yeah. Can you hear me, Rinpoche?
Oh.
He can't, it seems.
Yeah.
okay.
Can you
Maybe-
type the question?
No, chat's disabled. Too bad. Why can't we ask questions?
I don't know what's going on.
Thank you for trying, Marilyn. It's okay.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
Okay.
Chat, we can maybe do that.
Is he teaching this afternoon or it just,
Okay.
Yes.
Who are those raising
oh,
hands?
good. Maybe then they can straighten that out.
I don't know.
Okay.
Okay.
Hi, Melissa. You had a question? We can't hear you on our end. Maybe let's try now. And
Yeah,
then
you can pass down the questions. Deborah?
Can you unmute Melissa?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me now, Rinpoche?
Oh,
Can you hear me now? I have a question.
yeah, I can
Okay.
hear.
Thank you. I have 2 questions. One is really quick. First of all, thank you for these beautiful teachings and the beautiful Guru Yoga you wrote of Gampopa.
Okay.
Thank you, Tuktache. What is the Sambhogakaya aspect of Gampopa? What is the Sambhogakaya aspect of Gampopa?
What's the object?
No, what is the Sambhogakaya
Oh, Sambhogakaya
of
is like,
Gampopa?
yeah.
Of Gampopa. What deity?
Gampopa, yeah, Gampopa Sambhogakaya is those his disciples, highly accomplished beings, then they perceive Gampopa as the enlightened state of a Vajradhara. Vajradhara, there's two Vajradhara. One is the Dharmakaya,
Yeah.
is your total nature of the mind.
Right.
The second Vajradhara, you see your guru as the Vajradhara.
Yeah.
So that Vajradhara is Sambhogakaya.
Oh, wonderful. And real
Okay.
quick. Yes, thank you. And I never understood when we say that
Now I don't hear anything.
Can you hear now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now I can hear.
When I never understood when we say that everything is a projection of mind,
Yes.
does that mean that everything is both wisdom and compassion, and also that everything arises because of our karma? What does it mean that everything is a projection of our mind?
Now this, which we will talk about from the four Dharmas of Gampopa.
Okay.
There is a unenlightened projection of the mind,
Mhm.
and enlightened projection of the mind. The unenlightened projection of the mind is the whole samsara. Okay, there are many degrees of the unenlightened mind. Okay, and then the enlightened state, also there are many different types of enlightened mind. Like say Sharavaka, Partika Buddha, Bodhisattva, Buddha, there are many stages of the enlightened state of the mind. And unenlightened state of the mind, there's a hell realm, hungry ghost, animal, human being, and so forth. Okay? So this all are a creation of the mind. Our mind have created these objects or these phenomena, and then we are going through accordingly our mental projection of the mind. So just for example, when you are so angry with somebody and you see that person nothing but bad, so that's your projection of the mind, That person may be very wise, good person, but because of that moment, your anger obscured all this good qualities of the person, and you just see nothing but, as I mentioned, bad, So it is a projection of the mind. And there's some bad person, but somehow you made a good connection. And then you say, oh, you're a wonderful person. And then your mind has a compassion, loving kindness, and that bad person you see as such a wonderful person. See, so this is your projection of your mind.
Okay.
Okay, so done.
Ed has a question, but
Okay,
just one question, please, Ed, so that they can go to lunch.
yes, okay, yes. What's that question now?
Hello, Khenchen. My question was, what is the difference between doing guru yoga?
I don't hear you now. Yeah. Yes,
Hello?
what is your question?
Oh, okay. What is the difference between doing guru yoga with a guru who is not alive, like Gampopa,
Yes.
and then doing it with a guru who is living?
For Gampopa, just like a Gampopa example, as we have read, Gampopa, see, before even Buddha Shakyamuni came, he was a Bodhisattva, Pushpa Chantra, so like those, Taoist is called mental dazi, And then at the time of Buddha, he was born as the Chandra Prabhava Kumara. Then in Tibet, he was born as a Gampopa, or the monk of physician, So what that means is he cultivated such a great bodhicitta, and his bodhicitta was so powerful that he totally dedicated his entire life, or his whole entire being, to serve the sentient beings until the end of the samsara. Now, there is one in a quotation in the Bodhicharya Avatara. As long as this space remains, as long as the sentient beings remain, may I endure to serve all the sentient beings, you see. So Gampopa, when he was alive, now there's no any difference. He himself said, those who are far, those who are close, there's no difference, distinction. Because Gampopa mind is reaching to every sentient beings. Nothing is missing in his mind. So as long as when we have our own devotion, connection with him, and we get the full benefit, we will get all the blessings. So there's no doubt about that. So that's whether Gampopa was alive or not alive, it doesn't make difference. Like Buddha, so Gampopa have seen the 1,000 Buddha, all those Buddhas are gone. Many eons, they're gone. But Gampopa perceived those 1,000 Buddhas. So same thing like that. Make sense? So that's why I mentioned we should feel so fortunate connect to Gampopa. There are few teachers like him. His lineage was such a great lineage. Like say now we have a Karma Kaju, Dikung Kaju, Dupa Kaju, Talung Kaju. There's so many Kajus. It's all Tapu Kaju, from Gampopa's lineage. So he was the great master that came in Tibet.
Thank you, Rinpoche, very much.
Now, what?
No more questions in Zoom.
You are doing okay? Now I have to handle here, and I've handled it in Zoom.
This was one question.
Who's that? I don't see. MA. Okay, connect to audio.
Rinpoche, there is one person that has their hand raised for a question, but I thought that you wanted to break for lunch.
So now we want to break the lunch?
It's up to you.
Oh, okay.
Can I ask?
It's not up to me. It's up to the audience.
Okay, I guess you can go ahead.
Can I ask? Do you hear me?
Yes, I do. I don't know.
Where are you now?
I'm here.
Oh, Martin. Martin is
Yeah.
from Riga.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Martin.
Hello, dear Lama. So nice to see you again.
Okay.
Do you hear me?
Yeah, I
Do
can
you hear
you
me?
now. Yeah, here.
Yes. One stupid question.
Dusung Kyangpa, it is the name of first Karmapa. The translation is one who knows 3 times,
Yes.
past, future, and present.
Yes.
Please tell something about it. What does it mean? Knowing of 3 times.
Well,
What does it mean to know 3 times? What is it? Future.
What it means,
past.
what it means, what? Yes, who
What
knows
does
3
it mean?
times? The knower
Yes,
of the
yes.
3 times.
Yes, what does it mean? Can you comment?
That
Give
means,
explanation.
yeah, that means knows everything.
But where is it? All this
Oh.
past and future. Where is it? Past and future. Where?
Future is
Where is past?
Is knowing the future. What will happen in the future? Yes, knowing of all. Yes. Knowing the past is a little bit easier, but knowing the future is not so easy.
Yes, this is the question about future. About future.
Yes.
Is it exist?
Yeah. I'm not getting what you're saying.
Okay, okay, maybe difficult to hear. Maybe next time.
Okay, next time that's better. you contemplate, okay?
Okay.
Now we'll make a break for lunch, okay? And here, I mean, break for lunch here.
Okay.
So before we break the lunch, we do some dedication prayers. Okay. If you have this prayer booklet, page 30, I think it's 35. Let me see. Yes. We have this dedication prayer. We'll say this together. All that what we now, what you understood, how much you got benefit, what it makes sense, all this is something meaningful, virtue. Like say your sense of developing loving kindness, compassion. This is so good, I must do it, you know. So those kind of feeling you accumulated such a great, you know, virtue. So this all we dedicate to achieve complete enlightenment, not just for today's happiness, not just for this life, but how to free from this vicious cycle of the samsara, the war. Okay, so with this mind, please do these dedication prayers. So everyone, please take a deep breath, inhale, and exhale. Be here with your body, speech, and mind. Then we'll say the dedication prayers. Glorious, holy, venerable, precious, kind, ordained lineage lamas, divine assemblies of yidams, assemblies of Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, yoginis, yoginis, and dakinis, dwelling in the 10th direction. Please hear my prayer. May the virtues collected at the 3 times by myself and all sentient beings in samsara and nirvana, and the innate root of virtue, not result in 8 worldly concerns, the 4 causes of samsara, or rebirth as a Sharapaka of the particular Buddha. May all mother sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me and mine, obstructors who harm, misleading martyrs, and the hordes of demons, experience happiness, be separated from suffering, and subtly attain unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood. By the power of this vast root of virtue, may I benefit all beings through my body, speech, and mind. May the afflictions of desire, hatred, ignorance, arrogance, and jealousy not arise in my mind. May attachment to fame, reputation, wealth, honor, and concern for this life not arise for even a moment. May my mind stream be moistened by loving kindness, compassion, and bodhicitta. and through that may I become a spiritual master with good qualities equal to the infinity of space. My gains bring attention to the Mahamudra in this very life. May the torment of suffering not arise even at the time of my death. May I not die with the negative thoughts. May I not die confused with wrong view. May I not die with the untimely death. May I die joyfully and happily in the great Luminous school of the mind as such, and pervading quality of Dharma. May I, in any case, gain the supreme attainment of the Mahamudra at the time of death or in the Bhardo. Next, by the virtues collectively 3 times by myself, all beings in samsara and nirvana, and by the innate root of virtue, may I and all sentient beings quickly attain unsurpassed, perfect, complete, precious enlightenment. May the teachings of the great Gampopa Ratna Shri, who is the omniscient Lord of Dharma, Master of interdependence, continue and increase through study, practice, contemplation, and meditation until the end of samsara. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much, Rinpoche. We'll be shutting down the Zoom for, I was going to say 2 hours, probably about an hour and a half. The teachings will resume in an hour and 45 minutes. So we'll see you then. Have a nice break.